is Jennifer. I study neurobiology and I also have a secondary in global health and health policy. I'm originally from Gainesville, Florida, but my dad is from Uganda and my mom is from Malawi. There are lots of different things that I've had the pleasure of being a part of. One of the biggest things that's near and dear to my heart is being a PAF, or a peer advising fellow. So every year the incoming freshmen are giving a PAF, and I'm one of those students that serves as an advisor to the freshmen. I'm also an EMT, so emergency medical technician for Crimson EMS, which has been really exciting. I also am recently just joined, and I'm a member of the senior class committee, so we help with like a lot of alumni and reunion and like senior year events for memories and reflection and connections and bonding before we all graduate very soon. I live for travel, and I have loved Harvard so much for the travel and the experience it's given me. And I think I've gotten to do a lot of different varied things that connect with my interests and also my heritage as I've gone abroad. So for example, my freshman summer, I taught in Botswana for 2 months, and I was just teaching kind of 11th grade English. And I also went to Botswana that same summer, or excuse me, to Bolivia that same summer, and I got to build latrines in a water reserve. So water sustainability and healthcare is something I'm really passionate about. I've also gotten to do a lot of J-term activities. I, for example, have gone to Uganda and Kenya over J-term, and both of these activities were focused on healthcare as well as education. So again, a lot of my passions have gotten to kind of pull through, and Harvard has incredible resources to connect you with awesome people, to really let you do what you want to do in the community and like make the impact that you want to make with these powerful professors and programs that are already in place. Okay, so the Office of Career Services is a wonderful resource for sure. I actually work in the OCS, the short term for Office of Career Services, as a pre-med and pre-health advisor, but they have so many different departments within it that are very helpful. So for travel, for summer planning, for future planning, for jobs, for internships, they just literally have everything you need, resume, anything you need like to get you set up for your years to come. They're there to help you and guide you through that process. I know I've used them so much and have benefited a lot from it. Freshman summer, I went to Botswana and taught in a local high school for 2 months. And I followed that by going to Bolivia for 2 weeks to build latrines in a water reserve, so it's about water sustainability. My sophomore summer, I got to go to Peru, and I also worked in a medical clinic. It was a mobile clinic. And then my junior summer, I got to work on my thesis research. So I first was in Uganda doing my global health component, and I was basically assessing what mental health resources were like in the community. And I followed that up by coming back to my lab on campus at Dr. Nelson's lab in Boston Children's Hospital, and got to work with children doing EEG analysis and behavioral analysis. So I've definitely benefited a lot from the different ways you can use Harvard's resources to explore, both within the US and outside of the US. So as I mentioned, when I came into Harvard, I thought medical school was right for me. I was going to go straight to medical school. But through my time here, I've learned that my interests very much lie in health policy and health advocacy. And through that, I've actually decided to postpone going to medical school for 2 years, and I'm actually going to be doing a master's in global health science at Oxford University post-grad. So very excited to be in the UK, new experiences, and delving into something I'm very passionate about. I did not come into Harvard knowing that global health would be so much of a driver of what I do here. I think I came in knowing I was interested in medicine, that I cared about education, that I cared about my parents' communities, but I didn't really ever think of the overarching connection that was global health and health policy. And I'm just so grateful that I've had these 4 years to really develop and think about what I'm interested in and why I'm interested in them. That has led me to do so much of the travel and like different groups that I've been in, and just exploring so many different things I never thought I would do. It's been good. Harvard-Yale is by far one of my favorite parts of the school. I think it is the amazing camaraderie and like team spirit that comes through. Like the rivalry between Harvard and Yale is always a good driver, but I also just love that everyone takes a step back from the craziness that is Harvard and just really enjoys the weekend. You get to meet so many different people. I just like live for Harvard-Yale. We'll hopefully be back as an alum down the road. Boston Marathon is also something that I never thought as a freshman when I came in that I would run a marathon to begin with. I always used to say, like, who runs marathons? These people are crazy. But lo and behold, through time, I was inspired by friends. I started running half marathons, really started to enjoy it, and said, you know what, why not? I can do a marathon. So I ran my first marathon last year, and from that point I was like, you know what, I can do this. I'm going to run the Boston Marathon. So this past April, or well, this is April, on April 18th, I ran the Boston Marathon, the 120th Boston Marathon, and it was just the most incredible and unreal experience. I cannot even speak to the compassion that the audience had, like the spirit that Boston has, and just the inspiration that you get from the people who run this race. There are people from Kenya, from China, from any place you can name. I guarantee there was at least one runner or a team of runners, and people from so many different experiential backgrounds. There were runners who were visually impaired. There were runners who had other impairments that they were, you know, moving through and pushing through to finish this race. And everyone finished with this strong sense of euphoria. It's just, for sure and without question, a day I will never ever forget, and I definitely encourage you to. I never thought I'd run the Boston Marathon. You can do it too. I definitely encourage you to think about it and go for it. When I came into Harvard, I expected that students would be very competitive. You knew that there were students that would be very intelligent and have been very successful in their past. I have just been so pleased to find how supportive and communicative and compassionate and cooperative the students on this campus are. It is unreal to me how much I have benefited and grown from working with my peers very directly. If I had to give advice to my freshman self, I would say to take a step back and take time to reflect. I think Harvard is such an amazing place, but so much happens so quickly. You're meeting your roommates, you're meeting new friends, you're going to all these new events and social groups, and you have all these amazing classes you're excited about that keep you busy. It's very hard to remember that you need to think about what these experiences mean to you and why they're important to you, because that's the best way to help you grow and really take advantage of your 3 years following your freshman year. I just think that there are so many experiences that you can miss or not realize you need, or even things that you might realize aren't salient to you and would change your trajectory at Harvard. It's just so important to really think about what you want out of your time here. As Dean Karana always says, transformation and transformative growth is the pinnacle of your experience at Harvard, and reflection, I think, is the key to that transformation. So my first shout out is a big general shout out, and it goes to Winthrop House. I have loved my house community. My best friends are in that community. My biggest advisors and mentors are the tutors and faculty deans in that house. I've had such a wonderful experience. If I had to pick specific people, it's so difficult because I have bonded and connected with so many, but the first person that comes to mind is my really good friend Jen Zhu, who graduated 2 years ago. She is my spirit animal, and like just deep in my soul and core gives me so much passion and advice and makes me want to be a better person. I also definitely have to say so much thanks to my good friend DJ Badillo, who from literally day one is my best friend. My roommate Tiana, who I live with, and is always an exciting and interesting person to interact with. I could keep going, but I feel like I have just benefited from many on this campus, and I'm so appreciative of everything that you've given me, and I hope to keep connecting with you all, not just throughout senior week, but for the years to come.